Hi folks, welcome to Raina Reviews, and today on the show we are going to be reviewing the House of Flynn first ever intentionally made mermaid tail bag. So a lot of people use different types of bags for their mermaid tails. I had my friend Ashley make me an awesome canvas bag that I used for years. I literally used it until it fell apart. I know a lot of people buy bags that are intentionally made for monofins, such as the ones that Waterway makes, and they put mermaid tails in that. But this one is the first of its kind, the first that's been specifically made for mermaid tails. And from what I read from the owner of House of Flynn, Maureen, what she was inspired by is her set of Merbella's tails and lugging them around. We all know how rough it is to lug around mermaid tails, right? So she created this based on her Merbella's design to help her carry her tails around, and after she tested it, she thought it would be a great product for the public. So I'm going to show you the things I like about it, some of my criticisms, and give you an overall feel for it as well, and you can decide if you want to buy one too. So I got my bag on sale. I think it was 99 bucks American, which I feel is like a steal. It's got a beautiful print, as you can see. She's really big on prints. And I've actually got stuff in it, I guess. This is a waterproof bag, so when you put your mermaid tail in it, it's not going to get water everywhere. I really like the lining. We've got a great pouch in the front here. I filled mine up with so much stuff. It has several sets of straps. I've actually changed mine around, but I'll show you. So it's got back straps here, and they actually detach and they can go inside the bag. So if you don't want to use the back straps, you can actually put it in. They are adjustable, and they come with little protective pieces of plastic on the buckles, and I didn't take all of mine off. And they are lined so that they're nice and comfy. It also has a shoulder strap, and I actually turned mine around. It actually goes the other way around. You see there are these little clips here at the top. So I actually flipped mine and put it on the other side, and I'll explain that in a second. But yeah, you have two ways that you can carry this. You can carry it like this, or you can put it on your back like this, like this. So let's talk about the pros first of all. Definitely made of very durable material. Great price. It's a really nice big size, so it can fit a variety of different tails. Now, I don't think it fits all tails because I have tried some of mine, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I do think it fits most tails. I think you need to look at the specs online and decide if it'll be big enough for your tail and if it's oriented in a way that will work with your tail, which we'll talk about as well. The lining is fantastic. I like the print, but as my merwrangler is the one who carries it around all the time, I think he'd prefer a more gender-neutral print. We've had people make jokes that it's a giant purse. People also ask us if it's like a chair, you know, like a camp chair that people can put on their back, kind of funny thing. So I'd love to see some more prints. I see that she's done some really beautiful prints, so I'd love to see some more. And having straps is really nice. You can carry around a lot. So I'll tell you some of the cons, and really, I really only have one, and this tends to be a criticism of the bag in general, is that I don't agree with it being oriented this way, which is the way it's made. The reason I don't like this is because it puts, the way you have the wide at the bottom, it puts way too much weight down there, and when you're trying to wear it, it has a lot of weight on your butt and your lower back instead of up on your shoulders and being dispersed evenly. And this is something I've talked about with my back doctor as well, because I have scoliosis and I have to be careful how I carry things, you know. And having the weight up top gives you a little bit more balance and is less hard on your body than having it on your lower back. So the way it's oriented, that's one reason why I think it needs to flip. The other reason I think it needs to flip is because it actually puts weight on your tail in not the best way. Having everything fluke down puts a lot of pressure on your fluke, and you'll see when I show you what it looks like when I pick it up, it actually makes these parts curl up. So if you have a floppy fluke like some of my tails, you're probably fine if your fluke curls up. If you have a totally solid fluke and all of this weight and pressure is trying to force it to curl, you might break your monofin. And I can show you what I mean when I compare different tails. And it really fits floppier flukes better because even if they're a little big, you can kind of curl them in to fit into the bag. but when it's solid and if it doesn't fit, you're really trying to squeeze it in there, and then you've got this pressure point that's right here in one of the most fragile parts of the tail. So overall, I think this is actually a really great invention and something that we need more of in the mermaid community. For us, whenever I'm using my floppy tails, I can definitely put it on my back like this. But when we put bigger tails in it, all we did was flip it and we take it in my shoulder, just like a giant mermaid purse. That way it doesn't bend like this. And you have to forgive me, I'm using one hand to hold the camera and one hand to show you how the bag works. This is my splash tail. It's by Mermaid, and as you can see, it has the Calypso fluke. It has a finished foil in it, so this means that I can actually bend the fluke. I did this on purpose because I've often had tails with competitor monofins and I can't fit them in luggage, which means I have to put them into a box when I fly with them, and then sometimes the box gets lost. And I really just didn't want to lose my mermaid tails again. So as you can see, in order to make it fit in this bag, I have to go right down into the bag. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. And I have to curl the fluke a bit, which for my particular tail is no big deal. Once I pick it up, it'll be settled in there. I wouldn't normally do this with two hands. I'm just doing this really quickly to give you an example, but if I was actually going to carry this somewhere, I would do this with two hands and make sure I had it in right. Just a demonstration. Do as I say, not as I do. So as you can see, I can actually bend my tail over and that's fine. Got my tail here drying. So I would fold it, and I tend to fold mine so that little fins are on the inside. That way they don't get caught on anything. You want to make sure everything is lined up. And as you can see, that little fin is sticking out, so I gotta line it up better. And I put my camera down and lined it up a little bit better. Okay, as you can see, I put my camera down, I lined up the tail a little bit better. You really do want to use two hands if you're gonna be actually using this. And then we just got zippers. There's two zippers, which is very convenient. It's actually a really good zipper, I found. The whole thing just lines up. And as you can see, my tail fits in it really well. I do have to bend it in some places to fit. I'm gonna put my phone down again so that I can actually zip it. And there we go. It's perfect fit. Now, I actually feel that my tail is pretty cramped in there. It's the right kind of size to fit in here. But my she creature tail, which is the fluke that she used to make this bag, is actually quite a bit bigger than the bag. So having a foil monofin in it is great. I'm not sure if it would work with a competitor. I'd be nervous to try. But yeah, as you see, it all fits in there great. Now, if you take a look at my she creature tail, it's a bit tighter fit. I really have to pull the body part down to make it fit, and I have to roll these up inside to make them fit as well. Now with the finished foil, that's not a big deal because my tail isn't getting hurt at all by me bending it and rolling it because the fluke is floppy. So yeah, I can fit the she creature in there, but I would be nervous about using a fluke that is a little more solid because I would not be able to bend it. This is my tail with a competitor monofin. This is the one I'm hesitant to put in this bag unless we put it upright. As you can see, the fluke is really solid and only a little bit of it actually bends. Competitor monofins are also notorious for splitting inside the tails because of pressure being put on them here, here, and here. So you really don't want something that's going to be pulling up on this because it could break your tail. That is solid. All of that is solid. Also, the shape is a little bit tricky to fit inside of this because none of this bends. This is a solid piece. I would only put this tail in here if the bag was slightly bigger to give it a little bit more give, and if it was oriented this way. Then I wouldn't have to worry about stress on the monofin. So as I've said, this has made things so much easier for us this year trying to do gigs. It's helped me be more independent as well because I have chronic pain and health issues. I have a hard time carrying things, and Sean always gets stuck carrying so much, or we pile everything onto a dolly and we're trying to wheel it, which doesn't work when you're trying to go up a hill or over strange terrain. And with this bag, I can just go anywhere. It's awesome. This is the way it's supposed to be worn. It's a little heavy getting it on at first. Make sure your hair's not stuck underneath it. Now I have this measured for Sean's measurements right now because he's the one who usually carries it. If I was going to be carrying it, I would adjust the straps to have them a little bit tighter so that it's not slack like this on my back. So you can see. It's really comfortable shoulder pads, but as you can see, all that weight is down here. And if you look, as you can see, all the weight is down here on my butt though. So I kind of feel like I'm gonna fall this way. And if you look, you can see that it does bend the fluke. See how this is all bent upwards? See how it does that? It's hard for me to show with the phone, but that's typically what it does. See if I stand back here, see how it's bending the fluke like that? Yeah. So for a bendy fluke, that's no problem. For a solid fluke, that's kind of a problem. The other way you can carry it is with the shoulder strap, and that's what we normally do. Put our shoulder strap the opposite direction so that I could put the tail the other way around. That way I can have it on my shoulder like this. That way these aren't bending like that. The weight is distributed evenly, and I can just go. I love it. It's great. It's so convenient. So this is one way you can hold the tail bag, is the straps on here. But what we find is it bends the bottom a little bit. See how it bends the fluke? Yeah. So that's why we like to flip it. You want to show how we flip it? So we actually flip the shoulder strap, and Sean puts it like this. It'd be really nice to see it in gender neutral colors. As much as I love the beautiful print, my poor... so pretty. It looks like a giant purse. Yeah, but as you can see, it just makes things a lot easier. I store my bag by hanging it on one of these command clips. These are great. You can buy them at grocery stores. They don't take the paint off your wall. They can hold a lot of weight, and I just hang mine right here, and then it's in my hallway, out of the way when I need it. So in conclusion, I actually really like my House of Flynn bag. I think it's a really unique thing that we needed in the industry. I just think with a few tweaks, it could be a perfect product. I think spending 99 bucks on it is an absolute steal. I would pay double for something, especially if it was flipped around the other way. I think it'd be really nice to have some different print options too, but I'm really excited about it. I think it's really cool, and I hope that it encourages friendly competition so that we have lots of different people making bags and things too. It's so tricky because there's so many tail makers out there. One bag isn't gonna fit everybody. But overall, I really like it. It's made our summer so much easier. I can sneak in and out of gigs without the kids being suspicious. It's so great, and it's really saved mine and Sean's back, and especially for me, my hips, being able to carry it that way. And yeah, and I think one major issue is really just that I think the straps need to be flipped around. I think it would distribute the weight better. I think it would make sure that tails don't get damaged. I do know that my friend Jess in Australia had a bad experience with it damaging her tail. She's the only one I've heard of so far, but that being said, I know I wouldn't want to risk something I've spent thousands of dollars on either, you know, and I hope that House of Flynn will consider this constructive criticism and know that it's a really great product, and just with a few tweaks, I think everybody would be buying one. I hear through the rumor mill that she is making a hard case for taking on planes. I'm totally about that. I would love that. I'm so tired of trying to cram my tail into luggage or trying to cram it into a box and then having to check it as oversized. It sucks because it always gets lost, especially when we travel internationally. So yeah, that's my experience with the House of Flynn bag. Oh, and the other thing was I dealt with one of the customer service agents, and she was fantastic because I contacted them to give them my import number for my business, and we had a nice little email back and forth, and I can't remember the girl's name, but she was just really great with her customer service and answering my questions, so that was nice too. But yeah, I like my bag. I think it just needs a few tweaks. I think this is something the community could really use. I hope more people will step up and start making them too, so that we can have a nice variety out there for the different tails. And for 99 bucks, I think it's worth it, you know, especially if you have a bendy fluke and you're not worried about the pressure being put on it, then go for it. You know, you can do what we did and just change your strap around if you want to, or you can carry it the way it is, because lots of tails can still be carried that way without fear of damaging them. And it's just a cool product. I love that our mermaid community has grown to the point that you can actually buy a mermaid tail bag. Like, remember when you couldn't even find tails and now you can find bags for the tails? That's so crazy. If you like my videos, please give them a like. Please subscribe. Let me know in the comments what other products you would like me to review. If you are a creator in the mermaid industry and you would like me to review something, hit me up. Just know I'm gonna give you my honest opinions.